Welcome back to the summer signing series. Mark Thompson, broadcaster for the Royals, here with head coach Larry Courville. We've got a signing of kind of a unique and important element for the Royals today. Coach, you're going to add a little help here behind the bench and in all the other things you do as well as you bring on as your assistant coach a name well familiar to Royals fans, Kirk MacDonald.
Yeah, I'm excited to bring Kirk on board. Of course, I've coached Kirk for 2 years, my first year as a coach, and 2 years ago when we won it all, he was a big part of our team and our success. And I see him as a guy that can develop and a great coach at this level and move on to the next. And it's nice to be working with a guy like Kirk.
Kirk last year had retired, had gone to RPI where he was an assistant coach. He kind of made some headline news while he was there at RPI. He's obviously got interest in being a coach and getting an opportunity next season to be your assistant.
Yeah, we discussed things a couple of years ago that he wanted to get in the coaching, and at that point, we didn't have a paid coach, and we went with a couple of volunteers that did a great job. Andy Scott did a great job for us last year, and we had a video coach, Octay Armagon, that we brought in and also did a great job. But with the new ownership coming in, we discussed bringing in a guy on board, and Kirk touched base with me throughout the season, expressed interest in coming in, and I thought it would be a perfect fit. We discussed things this summer. We met at the draft and went over a few things there. And but he brings a lot of energy, a lot of knowledge to the game, and he was really a big factor in our success here. His energy, his character, his leadership. He knows the game, play at the next level. And I'm sure he'll be a great asset to our team.
Kirk MacDonald's got a very interesting history. He played at RPI, and while there, he was diagnosed with testicular cancer and actually took a year off and was able to battle back and actually became free of cancer and was a very successful pro player as well. One of the elements that stood out in his game and his pro career to me was the fact that he was kind of another one of these guys that's under the radar, underlooked, and got an opportunity to play at the American League. And lo and behold, they had seen him there in Providence in particular and ultimately signed him to an NHL contract with Boston. I know in that respect, he's one of the players that you're most particularly proud of in the development here in Reading.
Well, I am. I believed him in when I came in my first year. I believed that he was a guy that can definitely have success at the American League level. On the day that he got called up to Providence, I was actually also talking to Wilkes-Barre and Dan Bylsma. It was the same day that Dan Bylsma got the job in Pittsburgh. They were going to give him an opportunity. And then Don Sweeney called me and said, can you tell me a little about Kirk? And I gave him my honest feedback on Kirk and felt like he deserved an opportunity. And he went up and basically spent 4 years up there.
And also became one of their alternate captains while he was there, which says a lot about his leadership roles. As soon as he's in the locker room, it's really apparent that he's one of the guys that other players look to.
And then eventually, like you said, he was signed to an NHL contract. And I know one of the years, I wasn't sure if it was the year they won it all or the year they went to the conference finals, but they ended up putting Kirk, he was initially on an NHL contract. They ended up signing him to an NHL contract right at the end of the season just because they felt if they had some injuries late in the playoffs or during the playoffs rounds, that he'd be a guy potentially to come in and play some games because of the role that he played. So, that makes me proud, and to bring a guy up to our level and get an opportunity possibly at the NHL level and play some games, it makes me feel proud of what we've done here at Reading, and he's a great person.
Well, to add to that, and his character and his commitment, I think in the championship year 2013, it said it all. That was a season where Kirk MacDonald again earned an opportunity to play in the American Hockey League. He was in Houston. As far as I know, that Houston loved him, that they wanted him to stay there. It was late in the season, and Kirk MacDonald realized that his opportunity in his final year as a pro player to win a championship rested in Reading. Not very many guys choose to go back to their team in the ECHL when they have an opportunity to stay in the American Hockey League. Certainly says a lot about Kirk MacDonald's commitment to Reading.
For sure. You don't get that very often where a player asks to come back to his ECHL team. It was he was up in Houston for a couple months. They sent him down because of his injury to get back some game shape. Played a couple games for us. Was recalled right back up to Houston after a couple games. I think he played a game, then sat out the next game, and felt like, he was in a point in his career where he just wanted to play and enjoy his last year of hockey, and asked Houston, said, hey, listen, I want to be back in Reading. We have a great team here. We have the chance to win, a Kelly Cup, and asked to be sent back. And It shows what kind of character, what type of team guy he is, and of course, we went on and won the whole thing, and he was a big part of things, and I'll always remember that. That was part of me that felt very good for him coming back and being part of this team, and now he's coming in as an assistant coach. So.
You use an interesting term in that conversation is enjoy. And when I look at Kirk MacDonald, that's the thing that stands out to me. He really does enjoy it, whether it's practice, whether it's games. He's got that type of energy and upbeat personality where he really does look like he's enjoying it. Great sense of humor. And there are moments in every pro season where things start to take a little bit of a dip, and you need to be able to laugh about it and move on. And if anybody knows how to do that, it's Kirk MacDonald.
For sure. And we just had a conversation about Brian Molly earlier. They're just team guys. They come to work every day. They make everything in the locker room feel much better. They can make guys laugh. They can be serious at times when things need to be a serious moment when it comes to game time and being successful. They work hard every day in practice. Those are the type of guys that you need to bring in your locker room to make things run smoothly and have success. And especially when the things are not going as well as you plan and you've had some losses, those are the guys that bring you back on a winning streak. And they're your leadership guys, and you need a handful of those guys to make sure that you have success within the team.
Now, Kirk's coming out of D1 hockey. We talked about him being at RPI, where he played and was an assistant coach last year. You might have got to look at a couple of guys while he was there last year in NCAA, either rising seniors or guys that have now completed their collegiate career who might be able to help you out. A little bit of recruiting as you get ready for the 14-15 season here.
Definitely. It was actually a kid we were bringing in for the playoff run that was from RPI, and we actually got his immigration approved. And on the way to Rennie was recalled to Worcester, and that was Brock Higgs. So we'll see what develops with Brock. I know he's going to San Jose development camp here and looking for an NHL contract, but he's a possible signing if things don't work out at the American level.
All right, big sign. I'm not sure if it's a signing so much today as just an announcement. Head coach Larry Courville is going to be joined behind the bench and in all of the other elements that he's involved in as well. With Kirk MacDonald is going to be your assistant coach. I know you're very happy about that, Coach.
Definitely very happy.
All right, thanks again for joining us on the Summer Signing Series. Kirk MacDonald, the assistant coach of the Reading Royals.